Hi, I'm Anna Baker from Need2know.co.uk. I'm on set of Hollyoaks in Liverpool. I've just come out of drive and buy. I bought a few penny sweets and some pens and paper. I'm off now to interview Lee Ottway, who plays Bombhead. I'm going to go find him in Ilganosh. Hi Lee, so we're here in Nosh. Now first of all, I just want to ask you a bit about your experiences in terms of relationships in Hollyoaks. You seem quite unlucky in love, is that true?
What, in Hollyoaks? Yeah, my character hasn't ever met anyone. He met a girl called Cherry when him and Lee Hunter went away to Liverpool, and that's the only bit of love he's had. The rest of the time he's been in love with like Mandy's mum and stuff. And the only snog I've had with a cast member now were when Mr. C was in it, and he collapsed one set to resuscitate him, and that's the only on-screen kiss I've had. Right, okay, now have you ever fancied anyone that's a bit out of your league? You know, any of the real hotties that you just knew you just couldn't get? No, I haven't. No, everyone at work, we all get along really well, do you know what I mean? But I've never fancied anyone from work, to be honest. Okay, right, one of the major storylines you got was the death of your on-screen mum. How did you prepare yourself for this? Because it's a really big story to handle, and it's quite a sensitive one. Yeah, it was weird, but the scripts were really good, do you know? At the time they were really, really well written, so it was quite easy to play. I'd read one of the scripts and I'd start welling up just reading it. So I didn't do as much research as I'd have hoped, but the writing was that good that I didn't really need to do much. Just on that theme of welling up, I really want to know, how do actors make themselves cry? Because some of the scenes are so emotional, and how do you do it? Do you have the onions out the back? No, I don't use tear stick or anything. Throughout that storyline in particular, I said to a few directors, when I had a crying scene, just give me 10 minutes to go off set and mess about with my head, and then I'll come back on. And I felt a bit of a prima donna making crew stand down for 10 minutes, but the directors didn't seem to mind. They were all really good about it. So we blocked the scene and rehearsed it, and just before I went for a take, I'd go away for 10 minutes and then come back, and I was crying for real, so I hope it looked okay. Oh, okay, thank you. Right, okay, now there's some pretty good storylines that come out through Hollyoaks. They cover quite a lot of strong issues. Is there any one storyline you'd thought, damn, I wish that was mine? Oh, you put me on the spot now, I can't think. There's been so many good storylines, like you say, they do tend to cover a lot of issues. The male rape one in particular that Gary Lucy was involved in years ago was groundbreaking, wasn't it? It was really good. And it was out of the ordinary. People didn't expect that it does actually happen to boys as well, do you know? So it opens people's eyes to different storylines. There's not been one that I've just thought that I'd want to be involved in, but Hollyoaks is quite good in the fact that it does have a lot of controversial things, and it has helplines at the end of the programme as well. So if you've been involved in something like that, you can ring up and talk about it. Sure. Do you ever get that? Do you ever get people contacting you, or like even approaching you in the street and saying, oh, you know, you did that storyline, you know, this happened to me? Yeah, recently I had a girl coming up to me when I was out, and she said, oh, my mum actually died, and when you played the character when your mum died, it was really good. And I gave her a big cuddle, and I said, oh, bless, what a nice thing to say. But it was a bit grimmer coming over and say that. I didn't really know quite how to react at first, but she meant it in good faith, and it was nice of her to say it, really. I want to know about your living arrangements. You live with quite a lot of the cast, haven't you? Now, what's that like, living with your colleagues? Well, when I lived with Alex, who plays Lee, it was a bit strange because we'd spend all day at work together, and then we'd go home and obviously we'd spend the evenings together as well, but it was good because we could learn all his lines, you know, for the next day, and he's a lot more professional than what I am. I'm a bit lazy sometimes, but I suppose living with him, he'd get me involved, and then we'd go through his lines together. It'd save time on set. Do you know, even now sometimes that we're not living together, I'll still make the effort to go around to his and read his lines together, because you benefit from it, don't you? I think it helps your performances. Definitely. Do you find it hard to get that work-life balance though? Is there ever a time when you were living with your friends you just kind of said, no, I want to go off and do this now for myself? Yeah, sometimes. I think when you see people all the time, everyone needs their own space, don't they really? But yeah, it's not difficult to do. If you get along with someone, it doesn't matter how much time you spend with them. If you enjoy someone's company, it doesn't really matter, does it? You joined the show when you were really young, and you're now 23, aren't you? I'm that young. I was 19. I know. I looked dead young though, didn't I? I looked about 15 or something. Well, I'm not that young. Do you think you'll be in it for a long time, or do you think you want to move on quite soon? Well, I want to move on really now, to be honest. I don't know. It just depends on what they're right for me, really. I can't say. To be honest, I'm in their hands, whatever they want for me.
And I just want to know as well, because your job is really good. You know, you spend your day acting, you're doing what you really love. But it's every day when it just feels like a 9 to 5, you know, just a job, and you have to drag yourself out of bed like we do.
Yeah, everyone has good days and bad days, don't they? I think it's a bit... I'm not whinging because I know I'm really lucky doing this job, and you know I'd happily stay for as long as. But it's just that some days you go home and you get people talking to you about Hollyoaks and stuff, and like you say, everyone needs a bit of time away from work, don't they? And sometimes with this job you don't get it, but I shouldn't really moan because we're lucky to be doing what we're doing, aren't we, at the end of the day? There's so many unemployed actors out there that are much better than me and much better looking than some of us here, so it's just nice that, you know, I'm lucky at the end of the day and I don't take any of it for granted.
Now, what's your biggest achievement that you consider so far? What are you really proud of, Lee?
Oh, it's nice having them nominations at the Soap Awards. I had 4 last year and I'd won 4 years ago as well for Best Newcomer. I've not won any, but it's nice to have so many nominations. Yeah, I suppose so. For the panel to get down to the final 4 so many times, it's quite an achievement. I was proud with, I wasn't pleased with the clips that they showed really or what went away, but I was pleased in particular because it was for the dead mum storyline, and I worked really hard at that. So
I was crying, so...
Yeah, it was just a nice achievement to have so many people see some clips of me and stuff.
Lee, thank you so much for doing the interview for us.
Thank you very much for the interview.